Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Doing the show today, talking about Freedom Friday. Are you making other people rich? We're talking about the fall of Chicago. We're going to do a couple different segments here. But I just want to say thank you guys for sticking with the channel. I've actually had a death in the family, so I took a week off for personal reasons and kind of got myself together. And so I'm excited you guys are here. Thank you for coming to the show. If you have any questions, hey, feel free to comment today. So first off, I want to talk about how life is short. I'm not going to totally get into my family issue. Just know he was 28, very young. And if you're on my Facebook, you've seen me comment. You know, if you love people, call them, check on them, see what's going on with them. Number two is I want to tell the postman story. If you follow me on Facebook, you see me do these daily stories, and Instagram, I do these daily stories. But postman, I go into the post office here in Austin, and this guy is driving an hour and 20 plus minutes a day. And who knows how long it takes him to get home, because traffic going north and out of Austin is crazy at night. And he was complaining about working at the post office. Now, if you know a lot of people, they're like, the post office is a safe, secure job, Erica. It's a safe job, gets your benefits. Well, someone apparently didn't like him at the other post office. And so he's been trying his hardest to get to a store closer to home. Just can't do it. Just can't do it. So long story short, as he's complaining about it, all I can think of is, well, how long you been at the post office, man? He's like, almost 20 years. I think he said 21 or 22 years, but something around 20 years. And in my mind, I thought, if you don't have the pull to get a place closer to your home, why don't you just buy a house here? He didn't like that ideal. He thought, well, you know, I just can't do that, Erica. I just can't get another house. And that's the point of doing this channel. That's the point of talking about money. That's the point of doing any of this stuff. Is you should be in a position after 20 years to have the flexibility to buy a second home. If this is such a safe job and jobs provide such money, which I'm never knocking a job. If you've got a great high paying job, great. But there's becoming a striation in our society where people who just will never make great money. They'll just stay at this level for whatever reason. And then another striation of people who are in high paying careers. Now, when I say high paying career, I'm talking about 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 a year, 120,000 a year, 150,000 a year. I'm talking about dough. And then there's people in a bunch of striations down here that just stay in this $35,000, $40,000 range forever. Now, yes, some of those people are teachers. Some of those people are assistant medical staff in various locations. But there's a lot of people in that area stuck there. And so what's the difference that can make in your life is you investing. And many will say, where do I get this extra income? Well, if you've watched this channel, you already know. We've talked about tax liens. I've got a tax lien course. We've talked about improving your credit. We've talked about investing, because that's the only way you'll make that difference. And I kind of see for the next 10 to 20 years, there's going to be this level of people who they make 50 grand a year, but they are always struggling. No matter if they live in a small town, a country town, they live in the suburbs, they just stay in this low struggle mode. And the only thing that makes the difference is investing. I told you guys about my friends who are teachers, and some clients I know who are teachers got their first home through, HEROES program. It's a loan program. It's where cops and people who work in certain fields that may not make a lot of money be able to move into these homes, sometimes for zero down payment or very low down payments. And so as they get into the home, 2 years later, it appreciated. They were able to take a HELOC loan and invest in rental properties. And they've been doing that ever since. The book, Millionaire by 30, many people are like, that's so crazy. But it's not. It's very simple. For some people who live not in New York City sometimes and not California, but are able to buy a low cost townhouse or home and then turn around and invest, their other money into another property or other sources of income, such as stocks and bonds and notes. There's all kind of options. So just bringing up the postman story to realize, like, 20 years you've been somewhere and you have no extra money to move. I mean, people move to Killeen. And I'm not saying it in a knocking away. It's near Fort Hood, but they moved to Killeen because they have $60,000 houses or $80,000 houses. And a lot of Austin has $180,000, $200,000 houses. But my thing is, if you've been working at the post office 20 years, like, if you got like an $80,000 house, that bad boy ought to be paid off. Point blank period. Just point blank period. So if you guys have any questions today, again, the show's on making other people rich. Life is short, and the fall of Chicago. So the reason I'm talking about investing so much on this channel is I see so many people come in, and the ones who do make good money, now their wife may want to stay home with a baby. But where do we get that extra income from where she's left the workforce? It comes from investments. So again, we're always back to that answer. And I don't think jobs are making someone else rich necessarily, but I think when you hear Dr. Claude Anderson or other people say, well, look at the people who come and open convenience stores and gas stations in lower income neighborhoods. You're not being made rich off that. Every day you go and put your shillings or your money in the gas station to get items for your house, you're not being made rich off that. So where are you investing? Where are you putting your money? How are you getting a return on your money? So those are key things that I really want people to really break down and get that, you know. So the courses are always the tax lien course and the financial freedom starts at the basement. And I just kind of go over how I ladder my income. You guys can even go on the website on a blog and get the book Ladder Income. But it's literally, you have to choose entry level points. So I started with Lending Club, putting $25 in at a time. And when I got tax returns or lump sums, I would put it in there. Also, you have Prosper. You can do the same thing as Income. You have notes, real estate notes, bank certificates. I mean, we could go all day talking about the different ways you could put in levels of money. And why is this important? Because we sometimes have no control over getting a higher paying job if we're in a certain career field, teaching, you know, a phlebotomist in a hospital, just different things. We have no control over that. We do control where we put our extra $25, $50, or $100 a week. Now, what does this lead into? And the title you see where it says Fall of Chicago and Connecticut. Now, what is that talking about? Remember how Michigan went bankrupt a couple years ago? Well, that is currently happening to Illinois, the whole state. Now, we say the whole state, but most people think of Illinois as Chicago, not the farms around Chicago, not the rural, you know, the rural areas around Chicago, but Chicago, where a lot of the factories have left. And really important numbers you need to hear is 3,000 millionaires moved out of the city of Chicago over the past 5 years. 300,000 families have left Chicago over the past 5 years. Now, why is that important? That's important because these people contribute to the tax base. So if they want to increase taxes, who are they increasing taxes on? Not the millionaires, because they done left. They're out. They're like, I'm out of here, dude. I'm gone. Now, same with those families. If you don't have people who are working a job, contributing to your tax base, what happens? The taxes get risen, depending on your area, on everybody. So that's what Chicago has decided to do. Since their firemen and policemen pension funds are basically broke, they've decided to raise the taxes on everybody. Same thing is happening in Connecticut, Kentucky, and I think there's another state that's on the brink. But there's about 23 states, and you label them up versus debt, and they'll get to a point where their bonds are so ridiculous. They're paying such high interest on their bonds. Now, bonds used to be a great way for elderly people to invest and put their money into and get a return like monthly dividend stocks. But it was based off the growth, the future hope of that city. Think about some of the cities that had bonds. Detroit, New Orleans, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas. Would you rather buy some bonds from Dallas or would you rather buy them from Detroit? Would you rather buy some bonds from, you know, Miami, Florida or Chicago, right? So things like that are very tough. It's tough to try to tell people you need to be prepared. You need to be invested. You need to be prepared. Another book you guys could grab is called The 16% Solution. Great book. It talks about, you know, essentially tax liens and investing. If you're paying 15% on your credit card, which some people are, you're paying 9% on your car, you're paying 3% on your home, you're paying all this interest to other people. Where does interest come back to you? That's a really serious question. Where does interest come back to you? Hey, Jackie, thank you for catching me live. Michelle, thank you for catching me live. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys checking in today. And then Ray, what's up? But yeah, so what if you live somewhere, you guys have low bills, and all of a sudden your city and state decides, you know, we're going to raise the sales tax and property tax again. A little secret people don't know about Texas is Texas has very high property tax. There's a lot of people in Austin who are moving out of Austin, not because it's not beautiful, not because it doesn't have great food, but because their property tax is like $5 grand on a house that's really old, right? Because it's near downtown. Same thing's happening on average, the whole state of Texas. The average property tax here is $3,300. The average property tax of other states is $2,000. So when people say, oh, I'm going to Texas because they don't have any income tax on my paycheck, they don't have this and this and that, and you're like, you've missed the whole toll. We have a ton of toll roads here. People don't tell you about that, but we have a ton of toll roads in Texas. We have a ton of sales tax, you know, and it's just one of those things that people don't realize. They're a hidden tax, what people call a hidden tax. So what happens when you're living somewhere and you guys are like, I'm retired, and your city and state decided, you know what, your property tax, instead of being $2,000, it's going to be $3,000 or $5,000, right? Let's say it's $5,000. You're shelling out almost $600 a month, which most people would be paying $400 a month, but $400 a month in property tax just to stay there. So let's say you're a retiree, you're done working. You have a $2,000 check come in a month, right? And now you've got this additional property tax. This is why people have to focus on leveraging and laddering their income. So many times I meet people who are like, well, I'm good. Well, you're good until something happens, until you break your leg. Or like me this summer, had a surgery. Or, you know, something happens that knocks the egg cart, right? And if you only have one bucket you're pouring into, that's a scary place to be in. Another reason on this channel we talk about business all the time is if you guys actually just focus on marketing and growing your business will start to grow to a point where maybe not this year, maybe the second year, maybe the third year, it's a viable thing that's kicking you off income. So I've had my painting company for almost 4 years now. And this last year is just like, you know, the bandit signs, the signs in people's yards, the working on people, the referrals really, really kick in. I was able to have my surgery be laid down for a month, and our guys are making $8,000 deals a week, you know, and plus some, while I'm laying in the bed. And why is that happening? It's because you've started this thing, you've grown it and grown it right. So on this channel, when I talk about when you have a business, I should be able to come to you before you hire another person or ever hire a person. You ought to have a little workbook. This is what you do all day before I even get in the office, right? If that's them answering calls, answering emails, putting out Craigslist ads for your company, whatever it is they do every day in the office, they should have a worksheet, top 10 things they do. So let's say you break your leg and you can't come in the office for 2 weeks. That employee ought to know what to do whether you're there or not. And that's the difference in a hustle and a business. Many people are out there hustling, and I'm proud of you. You're out there Uber, Lyft, driving, all that stuff. That's great. Bring that income in. Bring that income up. But if you get hurt tomorrow, where's the difference? That's the true difference. That's the true difference in a hustle and a business. So let's see here. Oh, just marking off some of my stuff here. Let me see if I have anything I want to share with you guys. I was trying to remember what I had on to share on my screen today. I don't think I had anything. Let's see. Did we have anything? Might have something to share. I can't remember. Huh. Possibly. Okay. Anyway, we'll get on that. So look, I always try to come in here and ask questions. So you guys feel free to throw your questions in. It's a Freedom Friday. I'm not going to be here forever. It's going to do a short day here. It's been a long week. Malik Campbell, thank you. I guess that's New Jersey girl. Thank you, first time listeners. Thank you. I appreciate it. But this channel essentially is about growth. It's about growing a business or growing your hustle if you need to get your income up so you can invest that money. And I really enjoy being here. It's been 3 years on YouTube. It's been fun. You know, Freedom Friday, the point of Freedom Friday is, I used to say with my friend, we'd go networking, New Friend Friday. Let's go out this Friday. And it's not just the weekend to take our shoes off and do nothing. We build a life where we have work and we can put our work around what we want. So it's Freedom Friday. So that's kind of how that's going. But the thing about Chicago and Connecticut, if you live in those cities and you're a retiree, you need to be paying attention to these things. Just straight up, like, and it's already showing you, studies are always showing, I think the last video I showed, 1 in 3 retirees are already going back to work. Now, I think some of that is boredom, but I also think they didn't realize how much it would cost to retire. So that's a combination there. It's a combination of things. Is there any questions about investing, ladder income? Any questions, you guys? Definitely feel free to throw them in there. I always try to make Freedom Friday a little bit more open. We don't have to be struck on the topic. So I'm looking just to make sure, but I'm going to be in and out of here. This week was a tough week, but I ended up going to Stevie Wonder concert and the Chris Stapleton concert. And there's something about music. There's something about pain. There's something about joy of music that will just, it'll rock you, man. It'll really pull you. So since I don't see anything coming in the comments, you guys already know, I'll put the links in the comments below. Definitely check it out. If you guys ever want to talk to me, there always is consulting services. And you can check out the books from the site. Oh, I'll definitely, Carmela, thanks for all you're doing. Congrats to see, yeah, Stevie Wonder is something else, man. And the guy was playing the anthem and he kneeled. And it was kind of funny because people were like, is he kneeling? What is he doing? You know? But it's Stevie Wonder. He can do whatever he wants. But I'm going to share my screen for 2 seconds before I get up here and just show you the blog. Because I think sometimes people are just like, where can I catch you at? You can catch me at different places. All right. So we're over here. And I hope you guys can see the screen. Tell me if you can't. But this is the Classy Climb. It's not super fancy. Never meant to be. And on the left-hand side, are you ready for the 1099 economy? This is some of the blog articles on there. It's where I won free tickets to the UT game. Credit services are on there. Great little blog. I enjoyed doing it. Programs. I have 14K. Put up any tips. I don't want to F it up. Malik, honestly, it just depends. You got it. 14K. As I said on the channel before, I know people think I'm being a smart A. Grant Cardone's always going, when people call him and say, I got 10 grand, he's like, go put your money down. Go put it in the bank. Go sit down. You know, like, wait till you got 100,000. But you can do things with 14,000. It just depends. I just talked about Lending Club, Prosper, or you could put it in, oh gosh, it depends. You put it in a rental property. It all depends on what's your strategy. What's your 5 to 10 year plan? Do you have any excess debt out there you need to pay off? Any stuff like that. So that just depends, Malik. Depends on where you're at. This is some more from the blog, the 101 page, you know, monthly trainings, unstuck calls, all that good stuff. I just love sharing that with you guys. Another great website I always want to recommend to you guys is Side Hustle Nation. I love them. Great folks, great people of the staff there. But they have one coming in here talking about freelance to freedom, from 30,000 a year to 30,000 in a day. Now, many people won't ever get there, but I love how it just changes your mindset of thinking about how you can bring in money and how your money can grow. So I like it. I think it's good for you. Go definitely check it out. But that's it. That was just a short Freedom Friday. Hold on, let's see. Any other questions? Should you save first or invest income producing access? Depends on what you have. Most people have a mortgage, student loans, and a car, just on average. So if you've got, let's say you're Malik and you got 14K, instead of paying all those things off, if you can find income producing, you know, rental property, maybe it's a few states lower or it's in the Carolinas, and it kicks you maybe $500 to $800 a month, you can take that $800 to $500 a month income coming in and pay the debts off with that. It depends on, you know, how you want to do it. But I used to joke, Dave Ramsey, then Robert Kiyosaki, right? Because some people are like, I'm gonna invest all this stuff, and they have like 100,000 in student loan debt and 100,000 this. I'm like, your DTI ratios, debt to income ratios, are so off. When a bank looks at you, sometimes they're like, you know, they're like, I don't know about that one. So find some streams that you feel completely comfortable with. And streams of income honestly could be monthly dividend stocks, Lending Club, and what you're doing is you're building a stairway, right? So every month, some money should be coming back to you, right? So let's say you put $1,000 in a particular stock and it only brings you back $1 a month or $10 a month. Mostly $1 a month if you got 100. But if it's 1,000, there's a few I'm in that are pretty high return. Then it's good. So, Michelle, how many hustles should one have? It depends. What do you have time for? Because at some point, hustling, you get tired. Like if you watch some of the earlier things on this channel, that's when I was driving, I was working at a real estate agent, I was doing all these things all the time. I was so exhausted. But what happened is I was able to put away so much money that when I got my appendix taken out a couple years ago, I was like, taking a break. So it depends on what's your goal. If you have a short-term goal of like paying off something, Then, you know, if you get in your car, you go to work and then you do Uber for a few hours. Yeah, great. I mean, there's people who do Uber for 40 hours, 70 hours a week, and they do make $1,000 a week. But that's because they're consistently driving. It's almost like a full-time job. If you have something like, let's say, Michelle, you do flowers for weddings. Well, your crazy time is going to be April, May, June. You know, you're going to be busy in the spring, but those are big buck events. So those hustles are fine. You can promote that all you want. Just legitimize your business. Black Knight Coding. Just started an Amazon selling business, sourcing from China. Did tons of research and using money that I can afford to lose. Feels good to just step into something new. Yeah, that's good. Congratulations, Black Knight Coding. You know, the thing is, you're going to have to invest in yourself. If you see on the blog, I talk about Joy Coy, who he got a Amazon special or a Netflix special, and then he was waiting for the next one. Like, when they going to call me to do another one? And as he noticed with Kevin Hart and all these people, they were making a killing doing these live events, doing these movies, doing these comedy tour stuff. And so he just put his own money up to rent a place, have the audience there, have the camera crew, great quality production, and then sold it to Netflix for millions of dollars, millions. So, you know, you see Dave Chappelle and them making 50 million, 40 million. What people don't realize is Redbox and all these people, they buy hundreds, if not thousands of movies a year. I mean, I remember this guy saying, where's all the black movies? And the guy was like, go to Netflix or Amazon. They buy thousands of them out of Georgia a year. And that's why when you think of Tyler Perry is not just making his TV shows. There's other movies they make in 2 and 3 weeks on those studio sets he has down there. So that's just what it is. So any other questions, you guys? It's a Friday. You know, I usually try to, like, if I was in the Carolinas, we get Fried Fresh Friday. If we were, you know, in Texas, I try to do something similar to fish, or I do something light on a Friday. So definitely let me know, you guys, if you have any questions. But again, it just depends on your goals, you know, because I can give some of y'all $20,000 and they'll open a whole convenience store. I'll give some of you $20,000, you're going on vacation and you buy a car. It's like, what's your goals here? Jackie Wilk. I have 2 houses with a mortgage and 2 are free and clear. I want to know how to find houses I could take over their mortgage without paying up front. You mean seller financing? That's what you're talking about, is seller financing. That's just like what you see. You check out some of the other videos we had before, but essentially you're going to be putting out bandit signs. You're going to basically put out, and let's be really honest, you're going to put out 50 a week or every other week for 12 weeks until your name and number is synonymous with, you know, I want to sell my house. I'm going to call Jackie. Southern California. Malik, Erica trying to leave us. dude, you know, it's just a Friday. It's like Freedom Friday. It's like New Friend Friday. Southern California, Erica, where can I find your book list? Just go back on the blog, classyscl.com. I'll put it in the comments. Essentially, it's like you go on there and you go products or services. It's in there. Any new books I release, the email list has it. So yeah, Jackie, that's basically what you're going to be doing. You're going to put out bandit signs. You're going to talk to people on the phone, and you're going to do seller financing deals. You're going to get forms, all the shebang. So instead of telling them, hey, I can sell your home in 40 days, you're going to say, hey, I'm looking to do an arrangement with you. And it's not necessarily an arrangement. They still can get tax write-offs for doing seller financing with you. So you have to sell them on those points, which if I were you, I'd go on YouTube and Google how to sell seller financing. That'd be a lot easier, right? Because there's a couple people who just, they work on those pitches all the time. Now, remember, with seller financing, the reason that's not that it's not easy, it's not easy. I would say seller financing is harder because sometimes when people are ready to get rid of a house, they are ready to get rid of it. Your angle is probably going to have to be landlords. Landlords who are tired, they're tired of dealing with people, they're tired of being around a house. So you come on and you say, hey, look, I'll take over the whole deal. I'll manage the property, I'll pay you. Now, what does that mean for you though? That means you're not going to get a really big, like if there's a duplex and usually you'd get like $800, you're probably going to get somewhere like $400 or $300 because you're still paying them for his note, you know, and you're managing it. So So that's all. I mean, you have to find your strategy on that one. So, all right, guys, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. You check the links below. And again, remember, you can, for free, go through my company I love using and see if you qualify for business financing. The link's always below. Any other things where you want to talk to me, they're always the links below. So you guys, this is Erica. It's a Friday, Freedom Friday. I want you guys to have a great day. You guys are awesome. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for letting me have a week off. You guys be great.